Good weekend, everybody. Today is your weekly dose of curated news brought to you by the Ministry of Truth. Delivering managed democracy throughout our galaxy is the decision made by citizens to ensure our liberty is protected. Our focus today is the continued efforts to contain the Terminid threat and Super Earth Armed Forces' release of more military weapons and armor to achieve this. On the Automaton front, we look at the successful completion of Helldivers at ridding system-wide electronic countermeasures. And as always, this episode is sponsored by the Ministry of Truth and Super Credits. Terminids. A Xenos species that can quickly swarm planets, adapting to environmental conditions, attacking everything with brutal indifference. Contained on the eastern fringes of our galaxy, Terminids broke free and once again started to spread. Citizens of Super Earth Armed Forces fought valiantly on the front lines, and those efforts are finally paying off. Unable to cultivate heavier types, reports of fewer Chargers and Bowl Titans are being seen on the battlefield. Perhaps in an attempt to keep the numbers up, Terminids are fielding more and more of the smaller types. Helldivers on the front are torn by this change, fearing they will not be able to show their heroism and prove their worthiness of citizenship. One cadet who recently completed a tour of Heath told Helldivers 2 News that they were glad of the recent weapon changes, as it means it would take longer to kill the weaker types, allowing them to still live their power fantasy. Despite this change to Terminids, SEAF has communicated to all Helldivers not to lower their guard, as there can be no rest until all Terminids are contained. As a response to the increased spread of the swarm, SEAF has also begun to activate their network of termicide dispensing towers, known as the Terminid Control System. Able to kill all Terminids planet-wide, these were constructed on barrier planets Erita Prime, Fenrir 3, Meridia, and Turing. Helldivers are currently on the ground to activate these systems, and it's only a matter of time before they are successful and the Terminid problem is contained forever. The Ministry of Truth, in the wake of recent Terminid propaganda, has promised to review re-education centre policies and would like to remind citizens that part of the commitment to defend democracy is to also be reporting anyone they find suspect of being undemocratic. There is too much propaganda about Terminids circulating, such as reports of flying Terminids, and even more than automatons or Terminids, our real threat is misinformation. Remember, when in doubt, raise the shout. Plus, as we always know, bugs can't fly. War bonds. Crucial in funding the war efforts by citizens for the reward of new ways to serve liberty. Without war bonds or the superstore, we would already be biomatter for the Terminids or living under automaton socialism. To this end, the Ministry of Technology has released a new cutting-edge war bond. At the cost of 1,000 super credits to unlock and using medals to access the items within, these new war bonds focus on energy weapons and protection. From the LAS-16 sickle rifle to the SG-8P Punisher plasma shotgun, there are new choices to hold back any threat to our liberty, whilst the EX prototype armor sets reward protection against the arc thrower support weapon. You could say this war bond is going to be electric. Our last story today is the successful campaign against the automatons. Helldivers found themselves the victim of hacking, where system-wide electronic countermeasures disrupted stratagem deployment, at times stopping them completely and at times initiating the wrong one, causing momentary confusion on the ground and delaying the completion of operations. It soon became apparent that removing these measures was of high priority. This week, SEAF released a statement telling the success of this campaign and wanted to reassure all Helldivers that they can rely on each other once again with stratagem calls, and if the 380mm barrage is called, it is in fact intentional. And before we head to your local system news, we wanted to say thanks to our sponsors, the Ministry of Truth and Super Credits. Whether you're on the fringes of known space or the fridge in your kitchen, you can ensure the safety of Super Earth's future with Super Credits. You too can be on the cutting edge with the newest merch in the Superstore. Show your support with Super Credits.